Thank you. Thank you for noticing.
Good morning, Unity. So great to be back with you all. Good to see ya. 1, 2, 3, Love is my creator, and love is my sustainer. Love is where I'm going, and love is where I'm from. Love is my creator, love is my sustainer. Love is where I'm going, and love is where I'm from. I shout it out, hallelujah, shout it out, hallelujah. Love is where I'm from. I shout it out, hallelujah, shout it out, hallelujah. Love is where I'm from. Love is my devotion, and love sets life in motion. Love is what I'm knowing, and love is what I am. Love is my devotion, and love sets life in motion. Love is what I'm knowing, and love is what I am. I shout it out, hallelujah, shout it out, hallelujah. Love is what I am. I shout it out, hallelujah, shout it out, hallelujah. Love is what I shout it out, I shout it out, hallelujah, shout it out, hallelujah. Love is what I am. I shout it out, hallelujah, shout it out, hallelujah. Love is what I am. Oh, yes. So welcome, welcome. We welcome you this morning to Unity Spiritual Center of Portland. Yes, I truly am here, and I am so glad to both be back from Europe, and also I have been testing negative for COVID since Tuesday, so I am very grateful. Health is wonderful, life is wonderful, and this idea of love is who I am. What a gift that is. How many of us are willing this morning to take that into our hearts, into our beings, and to breathe that in? Anybody willing to take that in? Love is who I am. As we gather this morning and we continue the sacred journey we are on, every one of us is on our own sacred path. That presence and that power sources us wherever we are on that journey, and it is a journey of love.
So I'm just going to invite you in just a moment. We're going to begin this service in prayer. And I am just going to invite you wherever you have been this week. If by any chance there's been questions about who you are, about your ability to be enough for whatever is in front of you, about where your world is and how you are supported, I'm just going to invite you to move into that center that knows that love is who you are, that this universe, the very quantum field that we live and move and have our being in, supports us this day, and that it's as close as our breath. So let's just begin this service in prayer, moving into our hearts, moving into this opening. Mother, Father, God, infinite Spirit, we open. We say yes to this presence and power, the vibration of Spirit that lives within us, that vibrates as us this day, and that reminds us, all of us, that we are whole, infinite, and complete. We are interconnected. We are one. And we have come to be a part of that knowing. Every being everywhere. They are love. They are life. They are wholeness. They are the very vibration of Spirit. And together we walk this journey. We walk this journey of love. For this opportunity to gather in this knowing, to stand in it, and to allow ourselves to be a part of that movement of Spirit, we are so blessed. And so it is. Amen. And Beth is here to share with you some of the pieces of what's happening.
Good morning. Oh, it's great to be back with you all. Happy Pride.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I do want to mention Pride Fest in Portland is being held the second weekend of July this year. We are going to have a booth. Unity's going to have a booth there. Yes, there is a sign-up going on Sign Up Genius. You can register there, or you can see Drew following the service. She's got a clipboard.
And it's the third weekend in July.
Oh, the third. It's the 15th.
It's the 15th.
15,
16th,
16, 17, it's that weekend. Okay, now you know. Okay, so I want to mention Youth Ed next Sunday. They are celebrating their rites of passage for our young people as they advance in their grades. We acknowledge another year of spiritual development. So that's going to be happening. Bring your young people next week. I think Barbara has little gifts for everybody. And also the YOU is having their car wash next Sunday following the service. I know you'll hear more about that when the young people come in at the end of the service. So don't hit the car washes this week. Save your car for next Sunday and give them a love offering and get your car detailed. That would be great. We have postponed the path to membership for June. We will be doing that in October. New Member Sunday will be the first Sunday in November, so stay tuned for that. Bingo is still happening every Thursday. We've changed the time from 7 to 9. That's a more workable time for them. The 2 hours is a perfect thing. They're having more people show up every week. It's pretty exciting. If this is something, invite your friends. Spread the word. There's some flyers out on the table for you to put up. The more folks that come, the better. And if you're interested in supporting this group, you can see Dixie or Sandra, and we'll give you a night to volunteer. So today, tickets go on sale for our first garden party of the year. We're pretty excited about this. Friday, June 16th. Yes, so this is such great fun. We have food for sale. We have wine. We'll be enjoying acoustic music by Joe and Kelly Aloya as we gather outside in our beautiful garden for an evening. It's like, 6 to 8:30? Is it 6 to 8:30? 6 to 8:30. That's Friday, June the 16th. Tickets are $20. It all supports our general fund, and we need to know how many people to plan for. So if you can get that ticket early this Sunday or next, please do so. Colleen will be out at the table today following the service. And then that Sunday, June the 18th, is our Juneteenth service. And we're super excited. Dr. Hunt, Karen Trusty, LaRonda Steele, and the Interfaith Gospel Choir are coming back to be with us. Yes, it's always a wonderful, wonderful morning of uplifting and music and an educational time together. So invite your friends, come and join us for the Juneteenth celebration on the 18th. That Sunday will also be our leaders meeting following the service, which all of you leaders here will be receiving your email this week. I just want to mention we have a wonderful group of about 25 leaders in the church of all the different teams. It is such a privilege to work with these people who are so invested in this community and who love it so very much. And, you know, Sunday mornings, community outreach, special events, maintaining and beautifying our beautiful property and grounds wouldn't happen if we didn't have these folks in these positions. So on that note, I want to make a couple of acknowledgments. Sharon Dixie for re-beautifying the sanctuary for us, as they do on a regular basis. We have a new community relations team, which I'm so excited about. Valerie Garrett has been spreading the word out into the community about things that are happening here. She's creating those beautiful flyers that you see on the lobby tables for you to take out and post in the community. She's working with Jill Jarvie, who's doing our social media. If you are on Facebook or Instagram, I know you've been seeing more posts on that Facebook, and we're so grateful for that. Bill Imig and William Brault, they maintain the property and the gardens. They are fabulous, fabulous volunteers. They've been doing it for a long time. William's been out of commission for a bit, so we need a little more tending than usual this month, but that garden team meets this coming Saturday at 9 a.m. So if you can join Bill for about an hour, lend a hand, we'd really appreciate it. I know he would really appreciate the help. And I can't mention the garden team without the maintenance team, who's Steve Etling, who's replaced our little library door and got our porch lights working and all the good things. So yeah, kudos to him for coming back and doing all that stuff for us. And to all of you who responded to our mass email about food for Coffee and Connection, thank you. Don's busy plugging everybody in and getting everything scheduled. And on that note, I want to mention, if you know of a restaurant owner, a friend or family member who works in the food industry that could help us out with some donations or price breaks for food for Sundays, for the Houseless Lunch program or events, networking helps make things happen. So we appreciate it if you know of somebody to talk to them and then hook us up. That's great. And now I'm looking for my... Lisa, I don't know. Oh, here it is. She's got it hidden between her book and the Daily Word. We're welcoming anyone who's with us for the first time today. If this is your first time here at Unity of Portland, we welcome you. If you could raise your hand so that our ushers can see where you're at, they'd love to present you with a welcome packet. On the front, there's a rose sticky you can peel and stick to your clothes. You may have already picked it up if you came in this morning at the welcome table. But also on the back, there's a neon card, and there's a QR code that you can register to get on our mailing list and our newsletter list. And if you haven't been here in a while, and if you're not getting that weekly email, you can fill that out, and we'll get you put back on the newsletter list. We invite you to come down to Coffee and Connection today. There's a lot of goodies down there, and it's a wonderful time where we get together and socialize and meet new people and just connect for the week. So thank you so much, and have a beautiful week. Oh.
What?
Prayer chaplains, please stand. Yay, these are our prayer chaplains. See, I'm out of practice. It's been a couple of weeks, right? Our prayer chaplains are here to pray with you following the service, or if you're not ready to do that, you can fill out a prayer request. Look, they're right there. They're in the backs of your chairs. Put them in the box right here, and we thank you very much. Thank you, prayer chaplains.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. We welcome all of you. And I just want to take a moment and welcome Reverend Steve Tolles. We're happy to have you with us, Unity Minister he's up in Washington right now. Hopefully he'll come and speak here sometime. This is an invitation. Okay, good. Good. We'd love to have you here. It's wonderful to have you with us, and it's wonderful to have all of you. What we know when we gather is that every single one of us has a purpose. We have a plan. We're here to evolve, and that every one of us is right where we're supposed to be. Every moment of every day, we are right where we're supposed to be. So we welcome you. We're happy to have you with us. What I say every Sunday is if this community works for you, we encourage you to become a part. What we're finding and remembering, and our brains are actually remembering how to connect One of the things that happened during the pandemic was that we stopped connecting as much, and that inner desire to be a part of something more, and to remember, as Ram Dass said, we're all just walking each other home. Part of the journey is connecting, and this is one of the places you can do that. You can be welcomed just as you are, you can know you belong, and you can be reminded that you're whole, infinite, and complete, and we have a major, major opportunity to accept all of us and to allow that to happen. If this community doesn't work for you, I would encourage you to continue seeking and find a place that does. Because right now, we just have a mighty work to do. And it's wonderful to have you here. We are going to stand and sing The Light. Thank you, Susan, Mark, and all of our glory singers.
I'm gonna move to the light. I'm gonna speak of the light. I'm gonna sing with the light. I'm gonna dance in the light. When I choose to remember that Spirit is all, I rejoice and give praise and shine in the light. I'm gonna move to the light. I'm gonna speak of the light. I'm gonna sing with the light. I'm gonna dance in the light. When I choose to remember that Spirit is all, I rejoice and give praise and shine in the light. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is whenever we get to the light, of the light, we're the light, in the light, like let it out, okay? So let's practice it. Let's say to the light. 1, 2, 3. To the light. Of the light. 1, 2, 3. Of the light. Yeah. Okay. That's what we want to do. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna move to the light. I'm gonna speak of the light. I'm gonna sing with the light. I'm gonna dance in the light. When I choose to remember that Spirit is all, I rejoice and give praise and shine in the light. Okay, now we're gonna add our body, okay? We're gonna add our arms, and whenever we say to the light, let's just woo, to the light, okay? Of the light, we're the light, in the light, okay? 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna move to the light. I'm gonna speak of the light. I'm gonna sing with the light. I'm gonna dance in the light. When I choose to remember that Spirit is all, I rejoice and give praise and shine in the light. Yeah! I'm gonna move to the light. I'm gonna speak of the light. Sing with the light. I'm gonna dance in the light. When I choose to remember that Spirit is all, I rejoice and give praise and shine in the light. When I choose to remember that Spirit is all, I rejoice and give praise, and I shine in the light. Yeah, shine in the light. Oh, shine in the light. Shine. Woo! Yeah, very nice.
And I just invite you to turn to those around you and welcome them here. Namaste. It's so good to have you with us. Oh. The ability to remember that we never take this journey alone, and that who we are, this ability to remember who I am as an infinite creation of spirit, who I am as an emanation, literally an emanation of this one presence and one power that is everywhere. Part of that journey is remembering that it's within. You know, Tina Turner, one of the things that she said was the real power behind whatever success I have now was something I had to find within myself. I had to get quiet, and she learned to get quiet. And all the things that she had experienced in her life, all the abuse, all the different pieces, she found that the answers were within. And so developing that practice of meditation, of listening, of sitting in the silence is such a vital part. And so as you listen to this music and the wonderful meditation, I just remind you, it's within. It's always within.
I am a child of the living God, made in the image of perfect love. All that I am, all I've been given, my God within, I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender.
I invite you now to softly and gently close your eyes and open to that beautiful place within. Within each one of us, the I am, the beautiful spark of spirit that lives and moves and has its being in us. We together are that one light that reaches towards and out to share this love of who and what we are. So now for a few moments we surrender to the quiet within us, that place within us that knows the truth, that appreciates the beauty, that opens to life itself in all its glory. Feeling that grace now, we quiet, surrendering to this moment just as it is right now. And as we softly and quietly come back to this room, to this place, feeling the grace of the light that is in each one of us, that we share today, that we open to, the great I am that we are. We are all one. We are all here together to spread the light of beauty and truth and kindness and love with each other. And as we go out in the world, this feeling that we have created right now, this depth of truth, will stay with us. As we surrender to it, it will follow us. It will lead us forth on the pathway of light and love. And so it is now and forever will be the truth within us. Amen. And so it is.
I am a child of the living God, made in the image of perfect love. And all that I am, all I've been given, my God within, I surrender. 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 There's a song in my heart, praising God with all my might. There's a rhythm and a rhyme inside my soul, revealing spirit, guiding light. And I know, yes, I know that it's God. There is something here that I just can't shake. It's invading my life, you see. Makes me go for higher ground and pulling me to really be. And I know, yes, I know that it's God. I know I won't deny this voice inside. This voice keeps calling me, even when I try to run and hide. This voice won't let me be, so I turn and listen deep within. You know God's work I must begin. For I know, yes, I know that it's God. So I say to myself, can this really be? Is this still small voice the way the Spirit speaks to me? Touching me when I'm quiet, touching me when I'm alone, opening me as I surrender to the way that's being shown. And the song in my heart fills my life with so much love. For I know it's God. And no, I won't deny this voice inside. This voice keeps calling me, even when I try to run and hide. This voice won't let me be, so I turn and listen deep within. You know God's work I must begin. For I know, yes I know, that it's God. For I know, yes I know, that it's God. Thanks so much.
Susan, Mark, TJ, Sean, thank you, thank you. Thank you to all of our wonderful singers. It's God. It's the infinite presence and power. How many of us have been saying, this is God and this is not God? Anybody done that this week? This is definitely God. Look at this. I like this. Look what happened out there. This should not be happening. That's what we start doing. We start saying, this is God and this is not God. Last week, boy, was I in that place. Here I am. I copied, we're in our 7th week this week of an 8-week program on the book Essential Spirituality, and it's the 7 central practices, not principles, but practices of all of the world's religions. What are they? What are the things that we're driven to practice and to live in order to awaken our mind and our heart and to live from that place? So I had copied the whole section for last Sunday, and I got it. I carried it with me the whole time I was in Europe, thinking I'm ready. I've already highlighted it. Everything is ready. I've got my class for Tuesday. It's copied and it's with me. I had everything with me. I got home. I had read it all. I had written out all these notes. I had everything ready. And then I thought, oh, shoot, I always test for COVID. I haven't tested for COVID. It's Saturday afternoon. I better test. I was like, oh, it's a little thing. And I just left it there. And then one of my daughters said, Mom, you better come in here. And I'm like, why? We're fine. Well, guess what? Life has other plans. Anybody have anything in their world in the last month where life had other plans? Maybe it laughed at you a little bit and it said, well, and I was like, no, this is not how it's happening. This is how it's happening. Have you ever noticed life offers us again and again and again an opportunity to look and to breathe and to say, well, this too is God. This too is the infinite offering me something more. It may not be what I want, but somewhere in there, there's something for me to learn. There's something for me to grow. There's some place that it will evolve me if I'm willing to open to it. And right now, we are really living in that place where we can say, okay, there's this happening and this happening, and how do I find spirit? Sometimes God, if you're taking an idea of a God out there with probably a white beard and a lot of judging and other things going on, it invites you to enlarge that view. Often I go to quantum field. It's the energy. It's the very vibration of spirit. And what we're looking at is how do we live that spirit? How do we allow it to get into our body, into our being, to where who we may have thought we were, we can hear that still small voice that will remind us, because it's the eternal evolutionary impulse of the universe, and it's vibrating within us every moment, everywhere. And yet sometimes we just haven't allowed it. We haven't let it vibrate as us. Or we've gotten too caught up in what we think is not God. And we haven't found a way to allow ourselves to be guided through all of this stuff. So my realization, and of course, I just went to patience. What's your breath? Am I open? Am I curious? Am I still learning from this? And gradually it's like, this too is God. Where is it? What am I going to do? As this week has progressed and so many different things have been coming up, one of them had to do with the hill we climb. And Amanda, as you may have heard that her book, Amanda Gorman's book, was banned from several elementary schools. And so I want to start just by reading a little bit of it, because we might feel like we're on a hill sometimes. But when day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace. And the norms and notions of what just isn't always just is. And yet the dawn is ours. Before we knew it, somehow we do it. Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country and a time where a skinny black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming president. Think of that, breathe that in. This idea can dream of becoming president only to find herself reciting for one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge a union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of humankind. And so we lift our gazes not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first, we must first put our differences aside. I'm just going to stop in that place, although I take that back. I'm going to say I just want us to remember this and to realize this. And it was so long, I wrote it all out. But I thought, I can't read this whole thing. And she said, we will rebuild, reconcile, and recover in every known nook of our nation and every corner called our country. Our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge, battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it. The universal invitation to every one of us is to actually know that we have that light within us, to accept it, and then to begin living our lives in the highest way we know how. That's where we're going. That's what we're doing. That's who we are. And yet, sometimes we start battling with ourselves. We don't believe that that's the truth of our being. Someone, somewhere out there has told us that. As we move into Pride Month, how fabulous is it that we have the ability to say, of course we are all one. Of course we are all divine. How could it be any other way? And now what we get to do is learn to live it. I believe the journey of life, of what we're being called to do out there as a country, we're being called to do in here. Not to beat ourselves up when we don't do it. Not to find all the places that are wrong, but instead to find the places we can live it a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Where we can find that breath in us, that we can add something larger. When we were in Europe, one of the things that I was thrilled to, I have been just saying, we are going to be using the tube. We are going to be using the transportation that is available that costs about $2.70 maximum. And so we did it starting at the airport with all of our stuff. We took the underground. We had a wonderful time. And one of the things that it kept saying every time you would get on, and some of the people finally looked and they were like, would you like a seat? I think we looked so bad. They thought we were going to just land over, because these things don't go slow. I did learn that. Boy, they do not go slow. So we ended up, we got there, we got, all of our stuff, we've got all the stuff attached, we start to get out, and the first thing it says is mind the gap. Now we heard that over and over and over again, and the gap is where there is a space in between that train and the cement. And what was fascinating is sometimes it's this big, and sometimes it's this big. And there were several times I was turning around and my daughter or my sister saying, mind the gap. And they're like, we're fine, thank you. But life is saying, mind the gap. I started looking at that and I realized the gap is the place where I haven't seen God, where I haven't found enough spirit in me to do what's mine to do, or to believe that I'm whole, or to love myself, or to accept myself, or to say, wait a minute, I have to step from here to here. And I may have grown up hearing that I can't do that. But the truth is, the universe knows differently. The universe knows that we're whole and complete. The universe knows where it is we're to take that step. And our only requirement is to mind the gap. It's not to worry about what's over there, or what's coming, or whether or not we have enough for next week, or the week after, or the week after. Our job is to take right there, to take a step with courage, with compassion, and with a realization that we are infinite creations of spirit. And sometimes I would start to go like this, and I'd be like, man, if I miss, we're all in a lot of trouble. And I thought, what am I doing? Why am I thinking about missing instead of just stepping off? It was not difficult. But everywhere we went, all of the time, it said, mind the gap. It literally said, mind the gap. The practice we're looking at this week is cultivating spiritual intelligence. I was like, what is that? What does that really mean? It is developing wisdom and understanding our lives. Now, most of us think wisdom is out there. There's wisdom teachers. There are beings who have come that we can just feel the wisdom. There are times when we can just tie in with something and we know it's there. But the truth is, wisdom is within every one of us. The ancient wisdom of the universe is there. It's present. It's available. I was amazed when I was walking into these ancient churches, and thousands of, some of them, this was built in the 1200s, and this was built in the 1400s, and of course, I saw what happened in the name of religion, and all I could say was, thank you, God, that's not my world. I don't know any other way to say it. Thank you, God, I am not living in a world that says you have to be like this. There's only one truth, and it's this one. But what I did realize is there's places in my life where I've said there's only one truth, and you're not big enough. You're not enough. And so I feel like I've opened up these pieces. Now it's time to open up to larger pieces of truth. And that's what all of us are doing right now. Our biggest piece of wisdom, I believe, of opening to what is truly there, is the realization that all of humanity is whole. All of us. We all belong. We're all a part. And when we've grown up in a tradition that may have said you're a sinner or you're less than, it's replacing those old ideas in our heart and allowing them to expand. And what Roger Walsh goes into saying is that this cultivation, of course, is a lifelong journey. And Lao Tzu says, knowledge studies others. Wisdom is self-known. So the first thing, we've got to get some of the knowledge. But wisdom is beyond the knowledge. So we've got to do some of the studying. We've got to find out what are some of these spiritual principles. And then we have to find the gap between where we know those principles and where we are those principles. It's the becoming. And what I'm fascinated with, I don't know about you, but there are times when I think I should be living all of them. Anybody notice everything you do wrong? Anybody? Well, we got about, okay, there's more of us. We notice, I didn't live it here, I didn't live it here, I didn't live it here. What would happen if we turned that around and said, I lived it here? I lived it here. And wisdom is the ability to look at our lives with complete self-acceptance and say, this idea is causing me suffering. I could change that. Not there to blame, not this is wrong, this will never happen, this won't happen. It's just looking at our lives, our mind, our being, and saying, what would happen if I took on a larger idea here? What would happen? And I believe right now, there's stuff happening everywhere. At least that's my viewpoint right now. There's just stuff. But that's all it is stuff. What's desiring to rise is the truth in our hearts, the knowing that we're all one. The ability to say, of course, humanity has come for a larger walk and a larger vision than what this little thing is. It's a Tina Turner after a life of abuse and hurt and pain. And her book, I've been enjoying it, this idea of happiness becomes you. It's just, all it is a little book on her journey with Buddhism and getting out of the abuse and the other pieces. And the first step, hers was chanting. It was getting quiet enough to allow peace in, to allow a bigger picture. For me, I use meditation. I don't know where your journey has been. Maybe it's affirmation. I am one with the infinite. But always, it's a place of this gap right here needs a little bit of spirit. It needs the whole Spirit of God. It needs a realization, I am this. I am this. So the first part is just knowing that and allowing it to expand us. Then we get to move on to taking it deeper. First it's just knowing the principles. How many of you, when you learned a few truth principles, a few new thought principles, were just amazed? Anybody in here absolutely amazed from this little idea here to this? By the way, my sister sends me a lot of updates. She just told me that a school in Utah banned the Bible this last weekend because one of the parents who didn't like the banning of other books said, well, the Bible has all these things in it, and so they banned that. So so they banned in the elementary and the middle school, and I can get the name of the school. She sent me those. She keeps up with all this. She said, I think you need to know this. And so I'm very grateful for people in my life who do that. So that's some of the crazy stuff out there. We get to go inside and say, that may be out there. That's the appearance. What's the reality is that Spirit is saying, here I am. Let me move through you. And it's doing it in individuals, and it's desiring to do it in communities. It's desiring to do it in the world. I was told when we went to Paris that everybody would be rude to us, that's just the way it was. And of course, my response was, oh yeah? Let's see. We had so much fun. I had so much fun going into every being and saying, bonjour. And so I know nothing of French, and they could tell immediately that I didn't know anything whatsoever. And they'd look at me and he goes, speak English? And I was like, yes, merci, merci. And I'd start talking. And one of the gentlemen he really tried to stay. He was mad at the world. And I just decided I was just going to love him. He was the most beautiful being you've ever seen. And finally, he gave up because I was holding up the whole line. It was all self-checkout at the grocery store. And I was trying to get something for my sister. And I just kept smiling and saying, I wonder what I do. And I kept I couldn't read one thing there. And he said, let me help you. And I just said, merci, merci. And we started talking, even though he didn't speak English. And I did not speak French. And he went through and he just finally, at the end, he turned and he smiled and he said, merci, and he walked off with a smile. And I realized it's when we hold that place of loving. Now, when somebody's hitting us with it and we don't want it, what we can do, I know this, the understanding in me says they're in fear and they're hurting. The wisdom in me says, I'm more than this. I think Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. I believe learning in our lives that love is who we are. It's the invitation of the universe to allow it to come through us. And when we know that truth and we begin to say, this is a place where there's a gap, and then we come in and we live that spirit in the little ways we can, we find we become something more. And there's another idea and another idea and another idea on that hill we climb. Right now, it can look scary. And I don't have answers for all of that. But I know that humanity is enough for all that is in front of us. One of the times right before we left France, we went to Disneyland Paris. This trip was for my daughter's graduation from high school. It was 2 years late, and Lauren's sinking down in the chairs, but one of the places she wanted to go was Disneyland Paris. Now, by that time, I realized I had COVID. I had a cough. My sister and my daughter did also. I know now. We didn't know then. We went into a pharmacy. We didn't get any help there. And I know because everybody else on that bus had the same cough I did, that probably there was no choice about it now that I know what it is. But what was fascinating is there were too many people for seats. There were people from all over Europe. The languages, there was Portuguese, there was Spanish, there was German, there was Dutch, there was languages everywhere. And a little boy started falling. There were strollers all over the place. And I just watched as I grabbed one hand before he hit the ground, and a woman 3 rows back had gotten over there, or 3 bodies back. We were standing, we were not there, had grabbed the other before he hit. Neither of us spoke the same language. His dad didn't speak our language, and all we said was yes. That's life. That's what we're here to do. It was just simply do what the instinct says and love another person. I looked at it, I thought my whole trip was idealized in that little boy falling over as the bus driver went way too fast around a curve. And at 5 years old, he couldn't keep his balance. And before he hit the floor, 2 people grabbed him so he wouldn't hit the floor. In this country, in this world, there's stuff. It's going to be there. And we have the opportunity to walk through it with the highest that we know in every moment, and to realize we came with a plan and a purpose. And there's always going to be someone there that is our angel, and we're someone else's angel. And we're here to take this idea and to live it, because that's who we are. Thank you. And when life says, you got to do it this way, we get to say, okay, God, we're ready to do it this way. I'm sure somewhere I have an offering card, but if not, I will just do it this way. We have our opportunity right now to be a part of that cycle of generosity, of giving, of generous giving, of being a part of something more. Many of us have looked outside and said, is there enough? What I know is that God is our source. The infinite quantum field that we live and move and have our being in is our source. And so as we hold that in our hearts and we recognize that as our source, we can become a part of that giving, of that exchange of energy and of resources and of ideas, and that we literally move into that place. So there's several different ways you can give. If you don't have them there, you're welcome to take one of these home. They're in the back of your seat. You can use it right now. It has the different ways that you can give, whether it's online, whether it's through your cell phone, or in the offering today. And we're going to receive an offering in just a moment. But the ideas of being a part of this are, again, a larger idea of humanity. It's literally making investments in each other as we open to this idea. So I'm going to say our blessing, which is divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Let's affirm that together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And we just say, thank you, Infinite Spirit. And so it is.
So we're going to sing this song, but why don't you sing with us? It's a lot of call and response. You've sung it before, so join us. I've got love, I've got peace, I've got joy flowing like a river. I've got love, I've got peace, I've got joy flowing like a river. One heart, one mind, one love flowing like a river. I've got hope, I've got strength, I've got faith, move every mountain. got me. I've got us coming together. One heart, one mind, one love. Coming together, yeah, we're coming together. We're coming together. Yeah, we're coming together. Yeah, we're coming together. Oh, one heart, one mind, one love. Coming together. One heart, one mind, one love. Coming together. One heart, one mind, one love. Coming together.
Oh, we are so blessed. One heart, one mind coming together. By the way, if you were not aware, in just a moment we're going to sing our youth in, but if you weren't aware, our kids camp is happening the first week in July. That is for 7 to 11-year-olds. We have several of our teenagers that will be some of the counselors. And so if that is something you're interested in, I know the registration is still open. I know we have several of our youth going, and it's such an opportunity for them to get a larger idea of who they are starting at 7. What a difference it makes in the lives of these beautiful beings. In just a moment, we're going to sing our youth in. And again, remember, we are all interconnected. We are a part of this. So I am just inviting you to create an energy field of love into which they walk, that their hearts know they are divine. They are creations of spirit.
You are the star of the morning. You are heaven smiling at us. You're God's gift of tomorrow. Oh, how we love you. Oh, how we love you. You are the star of the morning. You are heaven smiling at us. You're God's gift of tomorrow. Oh, how we love you. Oh, how we love you.
Good morning, everyone. So today, the YOUers, we were in charge of taking care of the little ones today. So we talked about power. So everyone hold up your picture that you drew. So our pictures. So
Savannah,
everyone's-
yours says, I love love. And look at this, endurance and power. Is that what we have? Independence. Ooh.
So everyone's picture is what power looks like to them. So yeah, and that's what some of the YOUers did today.
Okay, as some of you know, next weekend we have a car wash for fundraising. So, if you want your car wash after service, come on over to the big parking lot and we'll wash your car.
All right. Because you have several events ahead of you. So you have Kids Camp, which I know is happening the first week in July. Then you have, you are going to IYOU? Is that? So you're going to IYOU. We have a representative that will be going to Unity Village this year. So we are grateful and thankful that you are doing that. And then you all have Rendezvous happening also. So there's a lot happening in our YOU. Wonderful. And our Uniteens, tell me what's going on. When is the next event? We're just going to pass it down.
I think it's in August.
You guys have Unitreat in August. Okay,
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. So we have camps that they're getting ready for. It's a wonderful opportunity to support the youth. We will be, the car wash is being done on a love offering basis. Okay, wonderful. That'll be next week. We invite all of you downstairs for Connection Hour. It's an opportunity for us to just gather and remember that we are one, and that all the ways we think, oh, I'm so different, this doesn't work, it's amazing when we sit down and talk with someone, whether it's in our language or another language. We are walking the same journey, and we're all doing this together. So we're grateful to have you here. We're going to stand and sing, "Let There Be Peace on Earth," and let it begin with me.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Oh, yes. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. We have prayer chaplains that are happy to pray with you up in the front. We also have garden party tickets for sale. We're going to close with our unity prayer. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And we just say, thank you, God. We're going to sing our youth out.
Love of God is in my heart. Thank you for this day. The peace of God is in my life. Thank you for this day.